The college were really looking for two things. One was something that would transform their built identity, and the second was to intensify the college estate by bringing more students onto site. The first of those, for me, is the most significant. The college had previously had a built character that was very informal, rather charming in its own way, but I think it definitely suffered by comparison with some of its peer organisations, both in Oxford and also globally. And so I think what we've been able to do is to give them a character which is firmly and quintessentially and recognisably Oxford, as well as a building which is very much of its time. We felt that there was a degree, and there's a solidity, there's a degree of permanence to a concrete structure, which for a building like an Oxford College, which is hopefully going to be around for decades, perhaps centuries to come, it's a material which is robust. Its monolithic quality means that it will stand the test of time.
Our brief was to create a very high quality environment, a very high quality building. Concrete just suited that in so many different ways. It suited the acoustics for a start, because these are postgraduates that are in these buildings and they could be working there at any time. The whole building needs to feel solid. Concrete is also flexible in that the grid isn't very regular. It changes all over the place, and so the introduction of a flat slab meant that we could play with that, and it also offered the opportunity for thermal mass because we've got natural ventilation, and so the exposed soffits that are in the building help us to regulate the temperature, and other sort of smaller things as well, like air tightness details.
It simplifies cladding details, the ability to hang relatively heavy elements of structure on the outside of the building without too much of additional bracketry.
Ability to support heavy partitions, the ability to choose different bathroom pods.
The speed of the frame going up was from our side, from the construction side, was a major plus because we were able to just keep going. Whereas with certain other types of frame of building, it's a much more long-winded process that we have to go through. Whereas here we could pour, shutter.
The staircases relate back to the Oxbridge College typology of buildings which were entered off the quad with student rooms arranged around the staircase. So they have great symbolism in that regard. And what we wanted to do was to respond to that by making them these jewel-like spaces. They consist of these spirals of exposed in situ concrete and walnut balustrading. They're a very complex and rich geometry and quite intensive in terms of their attention, in terms of detailing.
The combination of walnut and concrete works because they're both materials that don't really degrade very much with time. We wanted solidity and we wanted a feeling of peace, a feeling of serenity to suit the rest of the building. Concrete has that feeling about it. It's a natural material, essentially.
There's just an inherent simplicity about a concrete frame